Nobody officially counts how many Americans give up on the Philippines and fly home. But talk to longtime residents, and the same departure stories keep surfacing. And the strangest part is this: it's almost never for the reason people give their friends back home. They'll blame the heat, or the food, or missing the grandkids. Those are the polite reasons, the ones that don't sting to say. The real one is quieter, and it repeats across story after story. Today we walk 7 hard truths about why a move can wash out. None of them are about the country being bad. They're about arriving unprepared for it. And by the end, you'll see the exact opposite pattern: the folks who root down in Cebu and never look back. First, the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Let's be clear about the frame here. This isn't a video about the Philippines chewing people up. Plenty of Americans build the best years of their lives here. It's a video about the difference between the ones who stay and the ones who quit. 7 honest reasons a move can fall apart. And running underneath all of them, one root cause most people never name. We won't sugarcoat any of it. But we're not here to scare you off either. The goal is simple: spot the traps before they cost you your savings and a return ticket. Stick with it, because if you can spot these before you fly, you never become one of them. And keep an eye out for who thrives, because that pattern is just as clear. Let's start with the money. Start with the money. It runs out faster than they planned. They saw a cheap rent video and figured $500 would do it. Then reality showed up. The health plan they skipped came due. A flight home for a funeral landed on the card. Then the peso turned against them for a month. There was never a cushion, so the first real shock emptied the account. And a scared, broke retiree books a ticket home fast. This is one of the quickest ways a move falls apart. It isn't that the Philippines is expensive, it's that they arrived with no margin. The ones who thrive did the math honestly and landed with a buffer behind them. It doesn't take a fortune either. A year of expenses, parked and left alone. That single habit quietly separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. Then there's loneliness. It sneaks up and quietly wins. The first months feel like a vacation. Then the novelty fades, and some people realize they never built a real life here. They've got no friends, nothing on the calendar, and no reason to leave the condo. Paradise gets very quiet when you know no one in it. But this one is a choice, not a sentence. Cebu gives you places to start: community groups, clubs, churches, and regular coffee meetups. The people who thrive treat friendship like a project in month 1. The ones who leave wait for it to happen to them. It doesn't. Next comes health. One scare can end the dream. We covered this in its own video, but it belongs on this list too. Medicare generally doesn't cover care outside the United States. Some folks roll the dice with no coverage, feeling young and lucky. Then a bad fall or diagnosis lands, and a large private hospital bill lands with it. That can drain the move budget or force a flight home. Cebu does have major private hospitals, but the bill still needs a plan. The people who thrive decide in advance what insurance and savings will cover. The ones who leave discover the gap during the emergency. And it isn't only the huge bills. There's the slow drip, too. Medicines, dental work, and checkups. Put them in the budget before the move, not after the first problem. Run one test before you call the health line finished. Write down where routine care comes from, what happens after a hospital admission, and how you pay before reimbursement arrives. If any answer is blank, the plan is not ready yet. That blank matters more than a sunny monthly budget. Watch for this one. They never actually adjust. This is the big one under a lot of the others. Some people move here expecting America with better weather. When the traffic snarls, the paperwork drags, and the store is out of their brand, they take it personally. Every difference becomes an insult. That anger burns people out fast. But the ones who thrive flip it entirely. They treat the quirks as the price of the sunshine. Life slows down. The laughing comes easier. And they quit fighting a country that was never going to rearrange itself for one newcomer. The streets are just as busy. The lines are just as long. Their blood pressure is completely different. That difference starts before the flight, not after it. So let's make this personal for a second. Would you clear these first 4 or trip on one of them? The honest way to find out is to run your real numbers before you ever pack a bag. Turn that first Cebu reality check back on your own plan. Take the free quiz and get your Cebu Fit score right away. Enter your email for your best fit Cebu area, realistic budget, likely visa path, and first steps. Then get 7 short practical letters over 3 weeks. It's all free, and you can unsubscribe anytime. The link is below. This next reason stings. They came for the wrong reason. Some men move halfway around the world chasing a fantasy about romance, not a life. When the fantasy cracks, and it usually does, there's nothing underneath it to stand on. No hobbies waiting, no real plan, and no reason of their own to stay. We'll be blunt because it matters. Come here to build a life you actually want, and the right people may show up along the way. Come here to be rescued from an empty one, and you just bring the empty with you. The Thrivers built a full life first. Everything good grew out of that, not the other way around. A relationship cannot be the relocation plan. A full, settled life has to stand on its own. Then the paperwork. It quietly beats them. Visas, deadlines, the clinic form, the bank account, the driver's license window. None of it is hard on its own, but it piles up, and disorganized people drown in it. A missed deadline turns into a fine turns into a headache, and the headache convinces them the whole country is against them. It isn't. It's just admin. The ones who thrive treat the first 90 days like a checklist and knock it out. The ones who leave let it stack until it buries them. And the last one. Home pulls harder than expected. A new grandchild, an aging parent, a holiday that hits you sideways at the dinner table for one. This one is real, and it's human, and no budget fixes it. But the Thrivers plan for it too. They build a travel fund into the budget from day one. Missing home isn't the problem. Having no plan for missing home is. The ones who leave never built the bridge back. The ones who stay decide what regular visits they can actually afford. The trick is putting those trips into the plan up front. Then, homesickness can become a scheduled visit, not a slow ache that quietly ends the whole adventure. So put the 2 paths side by side. The leaver arrives with rent money and a dream, and precious little else. The cushion is missing. So is the health plan. The friends never got lined up, and the hard days never got a plan. One shock, and the account is dry, and the return ticket is booked. The Thriver arrives with the very same dream, but there's a year of costs sitting behind it, a health plan already in place, and a calendar filling up with real people. The beaches are identical, so are the prices, and the paperwork. Yet one of them is back in Ohio sooner than planned, telling everyone it just wasn't for him. The other is on a Cebu balcony, wondering why on earth he waited so long. The 7 truths now point to one root cause. It isn't the heat, or the food, or the culture. It's arriving without a plan and without a margin. That's what actually sends people home, and it's the reason they never say out loud, because it's easier to blame the country than the prep. Flip it, and the whole thing changes. Cebu doesn't chew up the prepared, it rewards them. The people who thrive here aren't tougher or luckier. They just did the boring work before they ever booked the flight. They counted honestly. Insurance went in early. The community got built on purpose, and a margin sat ready for the days that go sideways. None of that is heroic. All of it is learnable. For a few of you, the honest answer is no, and that's fine. For everyone else, that's the good news hiding inside a scary pattern. Once the plan and margin are sorted, the question turns to where in Cebu you put down roots. Place the candidate areas together before a lease. Compare the daily friction, hospital route, flood exposure, and cost pattern that your preparation must survive. Open the Cebu living map. The Philippines hazard layers and 3 Cebu neighborhoods are free to explore. Full access covers all 31 areas for $39 once, with no subscription. The link is below. So, we want the real answers in the comments. If you've lived here and left, what was the actual reason? Not the polite one you gave your friends, the real one. And if you're thriving, tell us the one habit that made the difference. We read every single one, and honest comments help the next person land softer. Money is one of the quickest ways a move unravels. So next time, we do the Social Security math, with no varnish on it. Real numbers, straight from the ground. Run the 7 truths as a private audit, not a comment section performance. Write the one that made you defensive. That is usually the one worth testing on a scouting trip. Then name what you will do on an ordinary Wednesday, who you will call when you are lonely, how much friction you can tolerate, and what would send you home. A clear return condition is not failure. It keeps the decision honest. The people who thrive in Cebu are not trapped by the move. They stay because the real week still fits after the novelty wears off.